Hello, good morning students and welcome back once again to the class 9 work and energy chapter. We are continuing with the exercise and the question for today is a battery lights a bulb, describe every changes involved in the process. Energy changes, not every, energy changes involved in the process. So we have to describe what are the energy changes that is happening, because we know by the law of conservation of energy that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it can only be transformed from one form to another form. So battery is used and we know that inside a battery chemical reactions takes place and the energy stored inside a battery is a chemical energy. So chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. Chemical energy is converted into electrical energy, and that electrical energy lights a bulb, which is converted into light energy. But we know that whenever a bulb is used for a certain amount of time, it gets a little bit warm or hot. So we can say this chemical energy is converted into electrical energy, and that electrical energy is converted into light energy plus heat energy, because heat energy is lost in the process, but it is still there. We are not using that heat energy, we are only using light energy, but a lot of heat energy is also wasted, which is generated. It is dissipated in the environment. I hope it is clear to students. Very simple. Okay. The next one is a certain force acting on a 20 kilogram mass changes its velocity from 5 meters per second to 2 meters per second. Okay, so in this particular case, let's say that an object is moving with a velocity of 5 meters per second. So whenever an object is moving, it is going to have a certain amount of kinetic energy. So I am writing kinetic energy I, that is initial kinetic energy. Okay, the next is its velocity is transformed to 2 meters per second. So it is changed. So a certain force is acting. Now the new velocity is 2 meters per second. So certain force is acting in the opposite direction so that the velocity is reduced. So same thing is said that it was moving in 5 meters per second. Now a certain force is acting and now the velocity is reduced to 2 meters per second. So it must be acting in the opposite direction in order to slow down the object. Calculate the work done by the force. So this was the initial kinetic energy with the initial velocity. Now 2 meters per second is the final velocity. So this is final kinetic energy. And final kinetic energy is lower than the initial kinetic energy because the work has been done to slow it down. Okay, so the force which is acting in the opposite direction is doing certain work on this object, and that is why its speed is reducing. So how much work is done? So if we calculate the change in energy, how much the energy has changed? Okay, so final minus initial will give us a certain change in energy, that this much amount of energy has changed, and that energy is equal to the work done, because we know that whatever amount of work is done is only because of the certain amount of energy you have. Okay, so that much amount of work did a certain amount of change. Okay, so if we calculate the change in the energy, we can calculate the amount of work done. Simple. So first of all, you need to find the kinetic energy. So initial kinetic energy is equal to half m u square. Initial velocity is 5 meters per second. U, this is final velocity. Okay. Half mass of the object is given, that is 20 kilograms. Initial velocity is given 5, but remember that it is always a square, half m v square. Okay, don't forget that. So this becomes 10. Everything is in multiplication. 1 into 10 is 10. 5 into 5, 5 square is 25. So what you get is 250 joules. So initially the object was having 250 joules of energy. After applying the force, the new kinetic energy, that is kinetic energy final, that is once again half m v square. This was half m u square. This is half m v square. This is initial velocity. This is final velocity. Okay. This becomes half. Mass of the object is same. Mass is not changing. So it is 20 kilograms. But the final velocity now is 2 meters per second. So 2 square. 2 tens. 1 into 10. 2 into 2 is 4. So 40 joules. So the initial kinetic energy and final kinetic energy we have. So initial kinetic energy of the object was how much? 250 joules, and the final kinetic energy of the object is 40 joules. So a lot of energy has changed because the work is done in the opposite direction, because of the force that is applied in the opposite direction. Okay. Now we find the difference between the two, so we can say how much amount of energy has changed, or we are finding the change in energy. So let's get rid of all this. Change in energy is equal to kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial. So it becomes 40 minus 250. So the remaining is minus 210 joules. So this much amount of energy has been lost, or you can say this much amount of work was done in the opposite direction to reduce the velocity from 5 to 2. I hope it is clear to you, students. This change in energy is equal to work done in opposite direction. Very simple, students. We find the final initial kinetic energy, which is half mv square. Final kinetic energy once again by half mv square. For the first one, we are using 5 meters per second because that is the initial kinetic energy or initial velocity. And second time we are using final velocity. Finding the kinetic energy, doing the difference of the two, you get the change in energy, and that change in energy is equal to the work done. Because we were doing this much amount of work, and that is why that much amount of energy has changed. Simple. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Okay, students. So another question is, a body of mass 10 kg is at a point A on a table. It is moved to a point B. If the line joining A and B is horizontal, what work is done by the gravitational force on that object? Explain your solution. Once again, this is very similar to the questions that we did yesterday, that was objective and theoretical questions. That when an object is thrown from point A to point B at an angle, obviously it is falling on the ground once again. Okay, so no work is done because according to the gravitational force, the horizontal displacement is useless because the gravitational force is acting downwards, and for a certain height, let's say this height, okay, it has a certain gravitational potential energy. It has certain gravitational potential energy, and this energy will only change if it is going vertically upwards or if it is going vertically downwards. That is, if the height is increased or decreased. It doesn't care if there is any distance or displacement happening in the horizontal direction. Because the gravitational force is acting on the object in the downward direction, we can only calculate the energy changes in it if it is going in upward direction or in the downward direction, that is vertical direction only. If you remember, when we did the derivation of gravitational potential energy, we also studied that if the object is moved to a certain height, let's say this height, okay, if the object is moved to this height, then we see the displacement of the object, that is the height changes. If the object is going to this particular point B from point A, okay, and we are taking this path, we are taking this object to this much distance, then going it upwards and then moving to this direction, it doesn't make any difference because the horizontal distance does not count. We only calculate the vertical distance. Even if that object was placed at this particular point, C, okay, forget this point. If the object is placed at point C, once again, if you see, the distance in the vertical displacement is only calculated, not the horizontal distance. Okay, so the gravitational force or any force, if it is acting and the displacement is happening perpendicular, for example, in this particular case, gravitational force is acting in in the downward direction. Gravitational force is acting in the downward direction, and the displacement S is happening 90 degrees to the force. Displacement is happening 90 degrees to the force. Then no work is done. Even if the object is moving in this direction, once again it is 90 degree to the gravitational force. Or any force in example, if the force is acting in this direction, then the displacement should happen in this direction or in this direction. If it is going at 90 degrees, no particular displacement has been done according to the force. Okay? So in this particular case, once again, if the object is from point A and it is moved to a point B, the gravitational force is acting in the downward direction and there is no change in the height. So if you see, the gravitational potential energy is equal to mgh. Okay? So from point A and point B, let's say that it is having a certain gravitational potential energy. I am giving it GPE1. And the other gravitational potential energy GPE2 for a point B which is having a height h dash. Okay? So I am writing mgh dash. But it is already given in the question that the line joining A and B is a horizontal line. Okay? It is not at an angle, it is a straight horizontal line. That means height h and height h dash, they are equal. Which means that gravitational potential energy 1 and gravitational potential energy 2, they both are equal, they both are same. So if the object is kept at A or B, it doesn't make any difference. Okay? So no work is done by the gravitational force if the object is moved from point A to point B. And this is your solution. This is how we are supposed to explain that if the object is kept at a certain height h on A and a certain height h dash on B, okay, then these are the gravitational potential energies 1 and 2 respectively. But it is already said in the question that the line joining A and B is same, that is h is equal to h dash, the height is same for both. That means if the height is same, then the gravitational potential energy is also same for both the cases. And therefore, no change in the energy has occurred. And so the gravitational force is not doing any work on the object if it is moved from point A to B. I repeat once again. Then gravitational force is not doing any work. It is not doing any work if the object is moved from point A to point B. I hope it is clear to you, students. There is another example in the exercise similar to this. It is about the satellite. We'll come to it in the next video. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Okay, students. So another simple numerical, not a numerical, a theoretical question. What are the various energy transformations that take while riding a bicycle? So we just saw a similar question that when a battery is connected to a bulb, the chemical energy stored inside the battery is converted into electrical energy, and electrical energy is converted into light energy and heat energy. Okay. So similar question over here. When we eat certain food, the energy is stored inside our muscles. Okay. So we are using our muscular energies to transfer that to the bicycle and move the mechanism. Okay. So we are using our muscular energy and transferring it into the mechanism of the bicycle. So we can say that is converted into mechanical energy. And because of these machines and mechanical energy, the bicycle moves and it acquires a certain velocity. And that because of that velocity, you can write that it is converted into kinetic energy. Okay? Also, during this, our body is experiencing heat. We are having sweat and everything because we are consuming the energy. So our body is also doing the transferring the energy into the form of kinetic energy. We are using muscular energy, and similar to the light energy during the bulb, our body is also dissipating heat energy. So we can say that mechanical energy is converted into kinetic energy plus heat energy from our body. A very simple question. Generally, mechanical energy is also considered as the kinetic energy. You can write directly that muscular energy is converted into kinetic energy or mechanical energy. I have just written it so that it is not confusing for you, because I know that many of you are using various other websites as well to verify the answers. So I don't mind that. Mechanical energy is actually the combination of potential and kinetic energy. So if you find this on certain websites, don't panic. What is mechanical energy? Mechanical energy is nothing but the combination of kinetic plus potential energy. For example, when I am throwing this marker or any object which is free falling, so when it is falling, during its fall, when it is moving, it is having a certain height, and because of that it is having potential energy as well, and it is moving, so it is having kinetic energy as well. So both the energies combined in this particular object while it is free falling. The same thing is happening over here. The energy stored inside your muscles can also be considered as potential energy, which is transferred to the mechanism of the bicycle, and because of that it has potential, and when it starts moving, kinetic energy. I hope it is clear to you, students. Quite simple. We'll do more exercise related questions in the next video. Till then, have a nice day.